Hey everybody. Hi there. Welcome to the Midday Moment. Yay. Hi replay people. I heart you. To all of our live people, I heart you. Welcome to the Midday Moment, everybody. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Dr. Davina, the host of the Midday Moment, and it is my pleasure to share with you these middle of the day inspirations. The Midday Moment is the place where we expect great things, not because we ignore the questions of our day, not because we ignore the challenges of our day. We expect great things because we recognize that we are both fully human and fully divine. And our fully human selves, we got some stuff. And our fully divine selves, we got stuff. More importantly, that stuff is answers. We got answers. It's greatness. All that we seek and desire is sitting right there in our divine selves. So the Midday Moment is designed to help you tap into the divine. Yes. And we are a part of a larger network called Kingdom, and we've got a full menu of Kingdom inspiration. So we have the daily download, Facebook, 6:30 in the mornings with Dr. Doctorpulley. We have Tuesday and Thursday prayer and praise with Elder Katrina Johnson-Smith. We have a night to review, Deacon Kenneth Butler Jr. We have Facebook Illuminaries with Elder Renato Casares. And so we've got little commercials as flyers on my Midday Moment page. And so you can scroll through and check out those commercials and participate in the menu. Go ahead, receive from the menu as it works with your schedule. All right, everybody, come on. It's time. Here we go. It's time for the Midday Moment. It's time for the Midday Moment. It's time for the Midday Moment. Whoa, it's time. Yes, I'm expecting great things. Yes, I'm expecting great things and creating. I'm creating great things. I'm creating great things. Yes, you are. When you tap into the divine, that is how you create your great things. It's already in you. We're just trying to help you figure out how to pull it up out of you. All right? In my home, yeah, I'm expecting great things. All around, I'm expecting great things. Eyes may not see, but I choose to believe. Eyes may not see, but I choose to believe. You may not see, but I choose to believe. Y'all may not see, but I choose to believe. I believe in great things. All right. Everybody say thank you, theme song. So I remembered to charge the Bluetooth today. All right. Thank you, theme song. Thank you, theme song. Theme song says you're welcome. All right, so I remembered to charge Bluetooth so it didn't cut off on us again. All right, everybody. So welcome to the Midday Moment. It's time for us to jump on in and experience our moment together. Hi to each of you. I heart you, heart you, heart you. Hearts, 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 hearts. Okay? All right. And I love it when we can have our little splash of color. So I don't always get a chance to do the splash of color. So when I can, boom. And when I can't, we still enjoy it. And you create your own splash of color. All right. So we are reading in our book, Getting Rid of the Junk. We're actually getting ready. We're almost ready for the next one, y'all. We're almost ready for the next one. So we're at the end of it. See that? We're at the end of it. And we are on day 39. Some of you may have read ahead already, according to, our previous schedule or what have you. So, but we decided, we left off last week at 37. So we came this week and just decided to kind of pick up, and we're going to work it all the way through next week. And we'll do the same next week. And that'll leave us our 2 or 3 days that we have together with finishing up this book. And then we'll get into the next one. And so this is getting rid of the junk. You can read it any time of the year, and so you can still get a digital copy from our author, Dr. Pulley. And so you can email him at doctor, doctor spelled out, pulley at gmail.com, and you can still get a digital copy and read it any time of the year, all right? We're cleaning out the junk, taking out the trash, so we can make room for the keys to the kingdom, the keys to good living, the keys to peace, the keys to joy, happiness, the keys to abundant life. That's what we're making room for, so that we can work our keys. And as we learn to work the keys, we will then also encourage each other about how to stay on key. So this isn't a one-time thing that we're doing. We're really building our muscle for a lifetime, okay? We're building our kingdom muscles for a lifetime. All right, let's jump on in. Day 39, you see I have titled it Amnesia. We typically don't read verbatim the reading of the day, so we encourage you to read on your own time. And then I come and I share some of the reflections here. So the day's book, the journal title, the title in the journal for day 39 is Works in Progress. And really encouraging us that we are a work in progress, and that the work that has begun in us as beloved offsprings of God, that God is committed to that work. It's a done deal. The contract is settled. There is a commitment to us evolving. And that's why one of my favorite scriptures, when David says, if I make my bed in hell, God is there. Divine is always with us. God is with us. God is always with us. One of the ways that we define God in our spiritual practice is that God is the everywhere. And when we say everywhere, we mean everywhere. Everywhere, evenly present spirit of absolute good. That is the presence of divinity that we come from. That is the presence of divinity that is always with us. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Nothing. Okay. Now, in your sense of awareness, you might not feel that. In your sense of awareness, you might not think that. All right. But that is what it is, regardless to what you think. And so, a part of what happens in our time together, in our spiritual exercises, in our prayer and journaling and all of that, we allow ourselves to make sure we return to center. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 Jones jewels today that perhaps kind of help to articulate the journey of how we see ourselves and why it's important to embrace that we are indeed a work in progress. And then, of course, you can read the background scripture, but it's really important that you learn to encourage yourself, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in me, in you, will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ, and perform it until as we come into the consciousness of Jesus Christ. All right, so Jones Jewel number 1. I titled this Amnesia for a reason, okay? Because again, you don't always remember. You don't always remember or sit in the seat of awareness. And so part of this journey is about us coming into awareness. Okay. All right. So number 1, Jones rule number 1, domesticate. So domesticate. That's Jones rule number 1. So years ago, when I was actively participating in therapy as a client, I remember my therapist talking about how, there's an experience that we have in the beginning, and we go through this thing called domestication because we are raised by other human beings here on earth. Same as Jesus was raised by Mary and Joseph. We go through this domestication where we learn what our parents often think is the best for us to learn, and or our caregivers, and sometimes we often learn by observations, often seeing them not at their best, and so on and so forth. And so we pick up pieces of information. We pick up pieces of information, and the pieces of information that we pick up might not always match the origin that we come from. It's called domestication. So we are born into this earthly experience and we go through a domestication process. And so we pick up information, we have experiences. Some of us have experiences raised with our family or not, or uh, um, uh, you rape, molestation. One in every third child, I think the stat says, has been molested. And so we have these experiences where we pick up information from these experiences. We pick up information from observation. So we pick up information, and as we pick up that information, we often begin to take on thoughts and beliefs that might not necessarily match the origin of who we are. So Jones Jewel number one, domestication. And just because you learned it doesn't mean it's right. I often tell my students, hey, when we do this project, let's stretch ourselves intellectually. Let's not just quote what our favorite uncle, Uncle Bubba told us. It's possible that Uncle Bubba was wrong. It's possible that Uncle Bubba didn't have the right information. I know you love your grandma. I know you love your grandma. Your grandma make the best fried chicken. I know you love your grandma. You love your grandma. But it's possible that your grandma gave you some bad information. And so it's really important that you learn to love grandma and decipher. That's a free one. That's about one get one free, decipher, because we're in the D's today, domestication. So it's possible that you love your grandma and you have to decipher that grandma got good fried chicken, but the other stuff that grandma showed me, it's not accurate. And so we experience domestication. All right. Now, Jones rule number two. Because of this domestication that we experience, we take on the mentality of what we deserve and what we don't deserve. Deserve. That's Jones rule number two. What we deserve and what we don't deserve. And so a part of this domestication that we take on, we start to operate about what in the realm of what we deserve and what we don't deserve. Well, I don't deserve that. I'm not good enough for that. I don't deserve that. No, I haven't earned that. I haven't earned that. And true, physically, there's a process of earning. If you talk about, for example, you reap what you sow. You sowed it, you reaped it. Okay, you sow, you reap. So there is a process of what you put out, you bring to you. Okay, but that's not the same as the deserve, don't deserve mentality that we pick up, and then we attach it to our value. We attach it to our value. And so I'm just going to jump right on into now the third Jones jewel. So we experience domestication, and in this domestication, we pick up information, and we got to learn to decipher that I love grandma and I love grandma's fried chicken, but some of this other information that grandma gave me is not my highest and my best. It doesn't serve my highest and my best, and it's not accurate. Grandma might have been wrong. Okay. And so because of this domestication, we then start to live out what we deserve and what we don't deserve. And so we have, even in some of our worship experiences, we say, oh, I'm so unworthy. I'm so unworthy. I don't deserve it. And we really live out a cycle of what we don't deserve, even though there is something to be said about what you sow, you reap. But that's not the don't deserve I'm talking about. The don't deserve I'm talking about is connected to Jones jewel number 3, divinity. Your divinity, and all this week, our lessons have been talking about identity, your divinity, your identity, your divine identity, your divine connection, your divine who you are, period. It is not something that you earn or deserve. It just is. Your divinity is not something you deserve. It is simply is. It is who you are. You are a divine presence in the earth. And because you are a divine presence in the earth, there are certain things that are due to you, not because you deserve it. It's just because you are. Health, harmonious relationships, wealth. Yes, there is a process where we learn to activate all of that, but it is not based on you deserve it and you don't deserve it. So I'm encouraging you today to remember. Therein lies the amnesia, because a part of what happens in that domestication process is that we often forget. We often forget that we are indeed the beloved offspring of God. And oftentimes we forget because some of what we experience doesn't feel like the beloved offspring of God. People don't always treat us like the beloved offspring of God. And because people don't often treat us like the beloved offspring of God that we are, we take on these mentalities of, I didn't deserve it. Well, I don't deserve that. And even when we don't say it that way, it's embedded in our thinking. For example, gotta go. For example, we know that research has often said that women work in the same position as another man with the same qualifications do not often make the same amount of money. At one point, it was like 70 cents to a dollar. I think now it's like 77 cents to a dollar. And there's a gap in there. There's an income disparity. Research also says that women don't often ask the same as men. I suggest to you that the reason why we don't always ask is because we've been domesticated. And in that domestication, we've been told, and often we've accepted, I'm not worthy. And we don't even use that terminology, but it comes out in the research because we don't ask. There's another research that talks about women in management and how we often, in management, we often make a request as the manager and say thank you. And men don't. They say, and I'm not saying don't say thank you, but a part of this comes from our domestication. And so we start to operate in ways where we don't deserve. But when you are able to break the cycle of amnesia and remember that you are indeed a beloved offspring of God, and that it is not about, in these cases, it's not about what you deserve. It is simply about the fact that you are the beloved offspring of God. And simply because you are, you indeed deserve peace. You deserve joy. It is nothing that you can do to change that.
Powering off.
You deserve it because it's your birthright as the beloved offspring of God. It is your birthright. So as you experience domestication and you take on these beliefs that you don't deserve, you haven't earned peace, you haven't earned righteousness, I invite you to break that cycle of amnesia and accept your divine birthright, that you are indeed a beloved offspring of God, and you deserve peace. You deserve joy. You deserve the keys to the kingdom. That's equity. I know I work in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're trying to catch up with the kingdom, y'all. The kingdom has already answered the question of diversity. The kingdom has already answered the question of inclusion and equity. It is your birthright that you experience peace, love, and joy. And that it manifests in your health. And we talk about health disparities. The kingdom has already given us the key so that we all manifest health and we all manifest harmonious relationships. It's your birthright. and that we all manifest wealth. And so we are in the progress. We are in progress. Each of us is in progress. We're on a journey, coming through this domestication, coming through the concepts of deserve and don't deserve, so that we can come into a greater sense of awareness and consciousness of our divinity. And as we do so, we manifest health, harmonious relationships, and wealth. All right, gotta go, y'all. I'm at 20 minutes. I love y'all. Hearts to each of you. Hearts to each of you. I love you. Go out and continue to make it a great, beautiful, amazing, and productive day. All right. I love you. God bless you. And you know it. God be you.